can still fall to infighting, to petty distractions of the flesh. That is why we must rise above, Guardian. It is the...
What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today's video might seem like ancient history to some of you, and some of you might have no idea what's actually going on with this weapon because you have never seen it before. Some might look at this Pocket Infinity and see a blast from the past that they absolutely love and adore and wish was back in the game. That's right, this is a secret weapon that we ended up teasing just a couple days ago. It is the Pocket Infinity. We're going to do a video reviewing the Pocket Infinity just for nostalgia's sake and just for the sake of, boy, would this be a cool weapon to go ahead and have back in the game? Would it be even viable if it was back in the game? Basically, with the Pocket Infinity, it's a full auto fusion rifle. Once you go ahead and fire out that first bolt, if you don't let go of the trigger, you just constantly keep firing out the bolts, and sometimes you're able to get your bolts back, so free ammo. Now this is the Pocket Infinity with its base lowest stability possible. That spread is god awful. That is about as bad as it can possibly get on any weapon. Again, the wall always tells the tale. So that's it with its base stability. Now looking at the barrel upgrades, we're going to go ahead and pick soft ballistics because that's the only one that gives us more stability. And yes, you could see right there that was some full auto in action, but you can see that at least some of the groupings are closer together. So we already know that we probably need to pick out soft ballistics as far as the barrel options go. So we're just going to move up here and go ahead and fire, and at least that's a little bit more palatable. We could handle our bolts at least spreading like that. But let's go ahead one final bit, and let's go ahead and put on perfect balance. Now this is the best stability that we can get on the Pocket Infinity. It's not great, but it's the best that we can get. And yeah, that's doable. That's a fine spread. I think that's doable at least, so we could definitely get away with going ahead and putting on perfect balance. Now, this is actually the spread and the basic build that you're going to want to use if you go into PvP with this thing. You're going to want to max out your stability. 3 bullets in the chamber and max stability. That's the way to go for PvP. But let's go ahead and see what we might want to do if we go ahead and put on extended mag, which gives us 4 bullets instead of 3. And this is what you probably want to go ahead and put on for PvE if you're running around. Now you've got no control of this thing. This is basically like jumping on a fire hose and trying to control it. You pretty much have no chance of wrangling this thing in. It's just going to go all over the place. Now this is with 4 bullets in the magazine. Remember, that is going to lower our stability a little bit. But in PvE, I feel like that's at least acceptable. In PvP, we're going to talk about that being a different story. But in PvE, I feel like 4 bullets is a decent thing. So here we are, I'm actually in a heroic strike now, so I am at a light level disadvantage by going ahead and using the Pocket Infinity. And through my clips and through my time with the heroic strike, I was rocking out 3 bullets in the magazine, and I just felt like rocking out 3 bullets, I didn't get all those free mulligan bullets to proc as much. I feel like whenever I put on extended magazine, that I just had a better chance of proccing all those extra bullets. And that's actually what you saw whenever we had that first beginning clip of this video. 4 bullets in the magazine seems to let this thing fire off infinitely, just like its namesake. Now for those of you that weren't around from the beginning, Pocket Infinity actually used to have, get ready, wait for it, 8 bullets in the magazine. So you can only imagine how much you were able to fire off your bullets whenever you had 8 in the magazine. And it was so high and so ridiculous that Bungie basically went ahead and nerfed this thing. They nerfed it all the way down to 3. But initially, you were able to get back up to 5 bolts, but they still felt like that was a little bit too much, and they ended up nerfing that. Then they ended up changing speed reload to perfect balance, which actually ended up being a good thing for us to go ahead and take this thing into PvP. But basically before, imagine having this gun with 8 bolts in the magazine. That is crazy. That we definitely miss. So whenever we're talking about how this gun might look now, it's definitely going to look a lot different from how it looked in the beginning of the game. I think it could be viable though, even if it just had back to the 4 bullets, which we can go ahead and get now with extended mag. I think you could definitely go ahead and use that thing in PvE right now if it was light level relevant. Of course you can go ahead and take it on control and do your strikes and everything right now. maybe even Nightfall if you're a little bit crazy, you will be at a disadvantage, but anything else, not really going to be viable in PvE. In PvP though, this is what I was really interested about. I was concerned about how the ammo reserves were going to be, because back whenever it had 8 bolts in the magazine, special ammo was everywhere. You could get special ammo from taking a step forward, boom, special ammo. That's not the case anymore. Not only are special ammo crates difficult to come by as far as compared to how they used to be, but also the ammo reserves are much lower, so you can hold less fusion bolts than you used to be able to do. So I was really curious as I was going ahead and making this video if I was going to be able to get enough PvP clips, because I didn't know if I was going to be running out of special ammo all the time and having to chase it. Now, from all the matches that I did, I feel like only very rarely did I run out of all my special ammo. Most of the time I was generally okay, but sometimes there were just some matches where I basically just burned through all my special ammo and then I was chasing it for the rest of the match, and that made things really, really difficult. But overall, I feel like I was generally okay. Of course, I was rocking out every fusion rifle ammo bonus that I could on all of my armor, so that might have helped a little bit, but it's not like it's going to give me 20 extra fusion bolts or anything like that. It was just enough to go ahead and keep my head above the water, because it's not like in PvE. In PvE, we saw whenever we were looking over the perks that we had surplus on. So in PvE, pretty much if you go ahead and pick up a green ammo brick, you're going to get basically your max fusion rifle ammo back. And that's really nice, but obviously you don't get exactly the same benefit whenever you go ahead and pick up an ammo box in PvP. It just doesn't work the same way. Now, something else that I want to go ahead and mention, because we didn't mention it before. Even though you fire off in full auto, every bolt after your first one starts dealing out reduced damage. So in many clips, I was trying over and over and over again. I wanted to wipe out an entire team with the Pocket Infinity. I desperately wanted to go ahead and wipe out a team, but it's just too difficult. It's too difficult to do it because you are getting a damage nerf after your first bolt, and as you saw from shooting at the wall, our basic bullet spread is all over the place. After your first initial shot, trying to exactly aim where you want to go with this is a crapshoot at best. Most of the time it's just luck. So it's going to be pretty difficult if you do get some crazy, insane montage clip with this, where you get a 6-person down, a Slayer or something like that. Well, that's pretty lucky and, quite frankly, pretty amazing. More often than not, though, you'll be able to get one enemy down. You might be able to deal out some extra damage to another enemy, maybe take off their shields. It's not going to be that bad, but trying to get multiple people down at once is going to be tricky because, again, we're rocking out as much stability as we can on this, which means that we're back down to 3 bullets in the magazine. So almost on every kill, you're probably going to need to reload the Pocket Infinity. I found that several times I would go ahead and fire this thing off, and after a kill I'd be down to 1 bullet in the magazine, and yes, you could go ahead and fire off 1 bullet and get multiple bullets because of the special perk proccing, but you'll be better suited to go ahead and reload that thing, because what do you want to do? Go ahead and fire off the fusion rifle and then need to switch weapons or melee or throw a grenade or run away? Nah, just be better off to go ahead and get yourself back up to maximum. Overall though, you can see right here, there's just so many enemies there, and I ended up tagging a few, getting one down. Some of them were our teammates. You never know exactly what's going on with all the chaos of the Pocket Infinity, because there's just so much that's going on. And again, trying to corral this thing is difficult. It does have a slow charge rate, so you're going to want to get used to that. And I think that's why I didn't use it a whole lot, because whenever I first initially got it in the game, one, I was extremely new to PvP and online PvP, and second off, I definitely was not used to or accustomed to charge rates on a fusion rifle. Now things are a little bit different. Overall though, this gun is fun. It's definitely a fun gun to use. I would absolutely love to see this thing back in the game. I don't think it would break the game. If anything, it would be a definite hard counter to shotgunners. And isn't that what everybody wants? At least as far as if I read the forums correctly, that's what I think everybody wants. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your infinity, and I'll see you around in Destiny. #BringBackInfinity.